Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Emsley Lodge for another week. This week is our 400th episode of our Emsley Lodge Report. Can you believe that? 400. We've come a long way, I suppose. We used to actually sit here and hold a microphone and that sort of stuff a long time ago. But yeah, well done to Rob Windmill and everything he's done for putting this video together every week. And I hope everybody has enjoyed it. We might just show a few little highlights of what, a few little, I don't know what you call it, bloopers or something, I suppose, or highlights of what we've done in the last few years. But it's been a really good thing, I suppose, for a lot of people. We hope to sort of show people inside the stable and sort of let everybody know what's going on, and hope to get everyone supporting the stable. So well done to everybody, and as I said, this is our 400th episode. Okay, we had a couple of runs this week. I thought we took a horse, I'll tell you, this horse called Loyal Consul. He is as tough a horse as I think I've ever taken to the races. He actually knocked our poor strapper over in the enclosure, and when Craig Robertson hopped off him after the race, he sort of said, "Can someone grab hold of this thing and let me get off it?" So, yeah, he's a very, very aggressive horse. You can even see in the run, he sort of straightened up outside the leader and sort of ran in and ran out, and I'd love to get the blinkers off him, but I think I'd be worried he'd crash into another horse during the race. But he's got a heap of ability, but he just needs to go to the races and do it a lot of times. But geez, a tough horse. I had to hold him. I got two other strappers to help me saddle him, and another person to help me hold him as well. So it took four of us to saddle him up at the races. So he's got a long way to come, a lot of improvement. You can see he's got a little bit of ability. I don't think the race was all that strong with a little bit of ability, but he certainly might be a horse worthwhile following. Righto, runners this week, as per usual, I've got one running at Geelong and it's drawn barrier 18. I'd just love to look back on the last 6 months and my runners at Geelong, the barriers have drawn. It's quite extraordinary. But anyway, he needs to go round Duro. He'll be 1,000,000 to 1 and probably deservedly, but I just need to get a couple of runs under his belt. So he'll probably go round at Geelong on Friday, and I don't know, he'll probably get caught 4 deep or something and have no luck, but and probably struggle to get to the line. But I need to get some runs under his belt. 2 weeks' time, there's a nice race up at Echuca for him, and then after that, I would reckon this horse is going to be really race hard fit. Probably drop a few rating points and we can get him into a race that he can win. He seems to be going really well. He come off a massive injury, and I just haven't, the cards just haven't fallen for him. A little foot abscess problem with him and a couple of little problems, but he seems to be really good. He needs to go to the races tomorrow, and he will do that. On Saturday, jump in the truck and go all the way up to Wodonga. 2 runners up there. Grandma Gale, I'm just going to keep her to the sprinting distances, the 11 and 1200 metres, and there's a nice little 1100 metre race for her up there. She's a fair way down in the order I see in the acceptances. I'm sweating on that they divide the race. If they divide it, she'll get a run, and she'll be competitive. I think she'll run a lot more consistent races, keeping it to the 11 and 1200 rather than, she probably looks like a 13 or 1400 metre horse, but her form is inconsistent, and I hate that. They won't run a good race one week and a poor race the following week, so I want to just sort of get her into a pattern of running every second week and being around about the mark. Little sort filly called Solar Flash. I thought she went really good up at, where did I go, Matoa the other day. I thought she went really good over the 1200 metres. We'll go up to the mile. This is her go. I expect her to go really, really well. I don't know how much depth is going to be in the race, but if she can draw a half barrier, she'll probably land outside the leader or in front, and she'll give a great sight. So that'll be Solar Flash and Grandma Gale at Wodonga. Sunday, head down to Cranbourne. Now, little Dune Field, his form was great. He run a couple of nice placings in Melbourne for us. We opted to send him over to Adelaide to a trainer over there and just sort of try and see if that drop back from Saturday City grade in Melbourne compared to Saturday City grade in Adelaide, and just took a punt that he would be able to be competitive over there. Unfortunately, he had a few problems with him, the trainer over there, and just couldn't really get him going. So he's come back here. We've had him back about a month or 6 weeks, and he seems to be going okay. His work through the week was really good, so he goes back to Cranbourne on Sunday. He's going good enough to be right around about the mark, this horse. I really like him. He's not the soundest of horses we've ever trained, but he's got a few issues. But I actually, when he first came home from Adelaide, I was a bit, his action was ordinary and he was just going a bit average, and I didn't think we'd get him going as good as he is. But his final gallop on Tuesday morning was really sharp and was sort of the old Dune Field, what he was like before he left. So I'm pretty confident we can get him back going as good as he was. If he runs up to that sort of grade, he'll be all over that sort of race on Sunday. Not sure what the track will be. They transferred the last Cranbourne meeting to Moe because the track was too wet. So hopefully we don't get a bog-heavy 10 track. If we get a slow 6 or slow 7, that'll just suit that horse down to the ground. Okay, so next week I've got a horse called Toffee Nuts in. I've just he was a bit disappointing first up. He jumped and showed a little bit of speed and was pretty weak at the end of his race. I just need to get him to a couple of little sprint races where they're going to run along and he can sort of sit half handy on the back of the leaders and see how he goes. He's just going to be, because he's had that one start and sort of well beaten, he's just going to struggle to get runs. So I've got him in quite a few places. So Toffee Nuts will probably run somewhere, maybe Monday or Tuesday. If not, he'll probably have to wait the following week to go to Wangaratta, but he'll go around somewhere like that. Minyinga, I've got her in at Sandown Wednesday. Would have loved to have found a little 13 or 1400 metre benchmark 70, but there's just nothing around. Difficult horse because she gets 64 kilos in her 64, where she gets into those 70s, she can sort of get in with 58, 59, and she's a live chance. So Wednesday's a benchmark 78. Now that might be really strong. Craig Williams is going to stick on her, which is good. She went good at the Valley the other day, wasn't beaten all that far, but we were starting off at the beginning of the spring. Benchmark 78s might be pretty strong. You might get that nice young progressive horse coming through, which will be really hard to beat. So I'm just taking on board that she's going really, really well. She looks great and she's galloping up good. Whether she can win at 78, great, I'm not sure, but 1300 metres at Sandown, see Williams on, that's sort of tick, tick, tick for her, so she'll get every chance on Wednesday.
G'day guys, welcome to Around the Stables. This week's horse is a horse called Dune Field. We had a couple of preps ago where he ran 2 races at Sandown. His next prep, he was really consistent. He didn't win, but he was always around the mark in good grade. As sort of Sandown, Moonee Valley. He was he'd always put himself on the speed, and he'd always sort of tough it out in the finish. He's a horse that his effort has never been questioned. He puts 110% in everything he does, whether that's his track work or his race day, and it's a real credit to the horse because he has had a few niggles along the way, but probably a credit to the farm and just sort of out straight track gallop. We're able to keep these sort of horses sound, and with a lot of sort of love and tender care, we can keep him fit and sound and racing really well. So he'll kick off his campaign at Cranbourne on Sunday in a 1200 metre 64. So that's his grade. He's raced really well at Cranbourne before, so he's drawn a good gate. So I'd imagine he'll just be just behind the speed, and hopefully just sort of he can get him in the finish. He's probably just these first few gallops back here at the farm probably took him a little bit, just his confidence, to build his confidence back up to be able to let down. But his last few gallops here at the farm have been really good, and I think if he takes his last few gallops here at the farm to the races on Sunday, he'll be competitive once again.
Yeah, that's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Good luck to a mate of mine called Cliff Brown. Was a good trainer over in Singapore. He was a great trainer before he left, actually. And Cliff's back here and training in Australia now. He's got his good horse in on Saturday. So good luck to Cliff on Saturday. Hope it goes really well for him. Interesting, just looking at a few things of prize money and everything before Cliff went over to Singapore. Maidens in the country were $9,000. They're now $35,000. So that's probably gone up nearly 4 times what there was just from 2007 to 2021. Yearling sales prices were about $70,000 for a yearling in Geelong. In Melbourne Premier, and they're now $140,000. So Prize money's gone up about 3.5, 4 times. Yearling prices have doubled, yet training fees have only gone up about 30%. So it's probably a really good time to own racehorses now compared to, say, 10, 12 years ago, which is really interesting if you don't realise that sort of stuff. So, yeah, this was an interesting sort of thing to look at. Until next week, see you later.
He's always a horse that has tried his guts out. That's never been a question, and I just...
Mate, this is the whole the romance part of our video is it's just so raw. It's just so, you know, it's Marbo. It's the vibe. It's, you know.